getting licensed boosts credibility. So this is really a question or a comment getting at, I guess, as you move along in your career, not having your license can be a problem. Can you talk about that?
Sure.
And how it relates to credibility?
Yeah, I mean, I think the licensure is definitely something that's required, right, to be a practicing architect. We all know that. It's definitely, a measure of someone's, as you mentioned before, sort of base knowledge and competency, right? Not that there's people, right? There's several of us that have not gotten completely licensed yet. Doesn't necessarily mean we're not competent, we're not good at what we do, but this is just a measurable way to say, hey, here's the license, we meet the basic requirements, right? And so from a professional point of view, there's a level of comfort, and then there's also a level of accountability that you are committed to the practice, to yourself, to your goals. And some firms, it becomes a requirement as you advance in your career for promotions or different roles or that sort of thing. I mean, some jurisdictions or some projects actually require that the staff is licensed. And we've been on proposals where they require either lead AP, licensure, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it's just a way to have all the boxes checked so that you don't have any sort of hurdles along the way. Not to say that you can't have a successful career without it, but I think it does make the road a little harder. The climb is a little steeper. And so if you can take the time to get it done, it does make it a little bit more of a smoother path along the way.
That makes a lot of sense. Don, what has your experience been on this topic around, sort of how you can progress in your firm and otherwise? In fact, you mentioned it early on that it's been a hindrance to you. Can you talk about that?
Yes, absolutely. So in my firm, getting your license will help you get on the path to more management and leadership roles. And if you don't have your license, there's a ceiling that you're going to hit. No matter how many years you have experience, no matter how much they know you're capable of doing this work, it's just that you don't have that credential. And on paper, they need that in order to justify, increasing your pay, giving you more responsibility. So it definitely has limited where I can move in my organization. And in the state of Maryland, they only allow you to use the title architectural intern. No matter how long you've been out of school, you're still an intern technically. And that didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, for sure.
All. So I use the term architectural designer. It feels a little bit better, but still, it's still not what I want, and it's still not what I went to school for, and the goal that I ultimately want to reach. So it's kind of personal and professional for me in terms of credibility, because I know the work I did in school to get to where I am right now. I know the work that I do in my firm and the benefit that I provide to my firm. And I want to be able to have that title attached to it because I know the work I put into it and I know the value that I bring. And since that is the way the industry is set up, it's something that I do want. And I don't want questions as to whether or not I'm capable of doing something just because of a perception. Well, she doesn't have the RA, so can she really do architecture? Because people who don't know, you would question a doctor who does not have an MD. So, they would kind of assume the same thing, at least in the circles that I frequent a lot. So it's very important, especially in government work. As Jorge was talking about, on proposals, they're looking for certain qualifications. And if you don't have it, you can't bid on those projects. So I want to make myself more credible in the professional environment, and there's also my personal life, just to show that yeah, you can do this and it's possible for you. So that's why I keep going to gain this licensure so I can have that credibility.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And inspiring. In fact, I have to say, I'm looking at the questions and comments that have come through here. And although you can't hear them, I'm not sure if you can see them, Dawn, but you getting like tons of high fives.
Oh,
Angela
thank
saying,
you.
Dawn, you're an inspiration for all women who are trying to get their license. Thank you for being here. Nothing happens for a reason. That's one I gotta, I don't know, just a bunch of support for what you're talking about. So
Awesome.